Good evening and welcome to Cordyceps segment 2, part 5. And if I'm correct. Alright, so everyone, would you please come with me? I have a lot of ground to cover. I don't know, I didn't pre-read it. I found it during today's sessions. And I've just been recording it from time to time. I mean, not time to time, but from the inception of finding that article and going through it. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I didn't know if I was going to be part 1. I thought maybe it's just one paper, one half hour. I didn't realize that A, I'm stupid, B, I can't think, and D, this is going to take up a little bit more time than I assumed in the beginning. I'm on page 27, I guess it was. Even though that says page 1 because it likes to redo itself all the time. Okay, so getting back to this, looking at relaxed aorta, lower blood pressure, increased coronary blood flow. These are all effects. Of course, you know, human durable fibroblasts, they actually got rid of fibroblasts. So anyway, let's get back to what's going on with these research papers and what they've been doing, right? And they're all citable on this particular thing. So my point is that this has no limitations to who. There is no religion that says you can't eat mushrooms. Again, there's no religion that says you can't eat mushrooms. She loves me, believe it or not. Oh, yeah. All right. Again, there's no reason why you couldn't have this vape. To the vape manufacturers, to Vape manufacturer, Wupu, right? There's no reason why your sales would have to stop at smoking tobacco. In my experience, since I have to look at my paperwork when I bought this particular unit, but it was between June and December. I bought 2 of these. I used the first one, I love it, and then I bought the second one because I like to have 2, one always charging. Everyone, you could always buy another one, buy the company, or buy the package through me. The reason why the package through me is going to be pricey is because I need to finance this thing. And the second aspect is I need 158 donors, of whom would like the spa experience. Let's build a spa, guys. All right, so let's go back to this. Oh. She jumped up on a chair. I'm using the chair as a table, and she knocked both my vapes down and my remote. Well, that's what she does. That's her job. Okay, so blood flow, lower heart rate, against arrhythmia, against myocardial ischemia, against platelet aggregation, against thrombosis, renal protection. Everything here sounds like long COVID symptoms. Not to say this is the cure. I'm saying this is the cure. Just like the Ancient Aliens guy. Not saying it's alien, but it's alien. This is mushrooms. Do you remember, if you watch any of these videos that I brought up to this point, one of them I explain what mushrooms are and what we are. We separated from mushrooms than trees separated from mushrooms. We are not related to trees as mushrooms are not related to trees, but mushrooms can rely on trees to grow. It was a little bit more advanced form of mushrooms in trees than mushrooms in us. That's why we can break it down to its constituents and it be bioreactive with us. We are essentially mushrooms. We are essentially a filter for our brain. Each of the brain parts are a filter of the core of the brain. What is the core of the brain? The part that wants to stay alive. The part that is who we are. The we of us. And remember, we have been we since the inception of we. Don't get me wrong, everybody looks at all this, and this. We were not a rodent. We were not a monkey. We were not an ape. We were not a Neanderthal. We have always been we. We may not have been we looking like we look like, but we've been we. Look, we adapted because of iron 60 multiple times. And each time another growth of our brain happened. Growths that other animals do not have. Because we were we, and we like to touch stuff. We like to use our environment for us. We are, what do they call it? Tool man, we. Homo sapien. We are Homo sapien sapien, which is one step above, because we think we are wiser than wise. But that's not an issue. The issue is we are not they. The core of us, we are we. Think about it. Think about it. Think about when we were a stack of one-cell organisms sitting in the ocean, just a stack of billions of us. There were 5 of us nearby each other, close enough for us to actually communicate with, share food, share toxins, share this, share that. We were stacks of billions of organisms working as one and thinking as one. We were we then, we are we now. We were not monkey, we were not orangutan. Granted, they were frugivorous of us, or descendantry of us at one point in time. But we have always been we. Think about that. God. Think about God. For your atheist, this is real. This reacts with us. But I like to believe in God. That's me, personal. I mean, God makes all this happen. God makes this happen. You can explain it atheist-wise. They explain it atheist-wise. But understandably, this being me believing in God doesn't make you, being an atheist, not to buy my product. Or invest in my product. Or invest in my lounge, my spa. It's a multi-denominational place. No religion inhibits you from using this. No creed inhibits you from using this. No belief structure inhibits you in using this. It's a serious thing. Okay, so that was table what? Let's find out. Page 17. We're like table 1. What was table 1? All right. This particular table 1, just happened to be at the table. We probably went over this last video. But these are bioactive compounds that are found in Cordyceps. All of these. Okay, thank you. All right, so I can get back to what page we were on. Was it 27, 28? Oh, 27. Listen, let's go back to 25. Didn't get there yet. All right, so that's where we're going to start here. High blood pressure. Where did I pick up the table? Here. So I picked the table here on page 24. We just went over that page. That took us a half an hour, roughly. So let's go down. Summary of various pharmacological and therapeutic effects. Cordyceps has a long history of use as a lung and kidney tonic, and for the treatment of chronic bronchitis, asthma, tuberculosis, and other diseases. Oh, we were here. Okay. So I can go, basically, let's just jump ahead. Toxicological and dosage-related studies of cordyceps. Cordyceps is one of the best medicinal fungi known for numerous positive aspects in terms of pharmacological effects and considered to be safe. Considered to be safe. Listen, I was I was invited to be a part of a board, but if I talk mushroom vape, they don't let it through. So I have no content on the board that I'm allowed to be on, but I just can't talk mushroom vape. And here it says, Cordyceps is one of the best medicinal fungi known for numerous positive aspects in terms of pharmacological effects and considered to be safe. Do me a favor, if you're watching this, 158 of you as well, and the millions of potential people watching this, please look up, cross-reference, message board, vape, and woo-poo, and you'll get the message board I'm talking about. Get on there and say, how come you won't let this guy talk about mushroom vape? The proof is here. I didn't write this. I'm just telling you that it exists. I appreciate the person involved in regulating who goes on and talks about what. I appreciate their duty and their protection of their theater goers, their other message board users. They don't want me to spout snake oil salesman stuff. I'm telling you, I can be snake oil salesman with this. This is the real deal. This is 1/6 though, 1/6 of the operation. Look, cordyceps is the best, right? Some reports are published on its adverse gastrointestinal behaviors like dry mouth, nausea, and diarrhea. I drink coffee. Coffee's anti-aging. You ever wake up in the morning, drink a cup of coffee, and have to go to the bathroom quick? Happens. So for dry mouth, I have a veggie soda. Veggie soda. It's a veggie soda. Aren't all sodas vegetarian? But anyway, getting back to nothing. All right, so in some patients, 1998. Now remember, we're at 2011 on this paper. Allergic response has been seen during treatment with strain of Cordyceps CS4 patients who suffer from autoimmune diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus, erythematosus, and multiple sclerosis are generally suggested to avoid its use. Are generally, right? But I have a 6-blend mushroom. Maybe one of them can counteract those things that are cited here. Reports are still lacking on pregnant and lactating women, but some animal studies in mice have revealed that cordyceps has an effect on plasma testosterone levels. There has been a couple of reports on lead poisoning in patients taking cordyceps herbal medicine for treatment. The lead content in the cordyceps powder was significantly high. Well, if it's grown in the environment where lead is, it's going to absorb the lead. It's part of what mushrooms do. It absorbs metals from the environment. You generally don't want to eat those particular metals, but if it absorbs zinc and copper and you eat it, guess what? No colds. Get it? But getting back to this, you know, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I don't want to read that to you guys. You know, cordyceps being 1/6 of the mushroom formula, there are some drawbacks. But I will engender a prospectus on the fact that I have 5 other mushrooms to go through It's going to take me just as long as this took me to get through this paper. And I'm only at page 27. Think about that. Besides few negatively published data, cordyceps is relatively considered to be a non-toxic medicinal mushroom. Cordyceps dose in patients suffering from long-term renal failure was demonstrated up to 3 to 6 grams a day. In clinical studies involving lung cancers, chemotherapy was carried out with a combination of cordyceps, 2008, and other clinical trial results of cordyceps were compared with placebo to evaluate its effectiveness on physical performance. In general, research demonstrated that 3 to 4.5 grams of cordyceps a day is sufficient, except in patients suffering from severe liver disease. However, no human toxicity report was found even in animal models where failed to determine median lethal dose. So this is microdosing. Perhaps we have a way around the negative because it's microdosing. Cordyceps doses up to 80 grams per kilogram body weight for 7 days was injected intraperitoneally in mice, and even then it did not cause any fatality. In other studies, rabbits fed through mouths for 3 months at a dose of 10 grams per kilogram per day did not show any deviancy in blood reports or in kidney liver functioning. Even water extract of Cordyceps sinensis was found to be non-toxic on macrophage cells. Alright, so I'm glad I went through that. Hey, this is live. I don't know this. I didn't read ahead. The only time I read ahead was when I stopped a half hour later and redone it. But this is the first time around in this one until I say an F-bomb. I said an F-bomb last video, I'm going to keep it in. Alright, future perspective. Cordyceps is a natural medicinal mushroom which is well liked by people nowadays, as they believe more in natural therapy than chemotherapy because of lesser side effects. More natural therapy than chemotherapy. All you guys on Twitter, if you're on Twitter, give this video. Give my videos. Tell them I masturbate. Tell them I was there at one point. I got a new iPad and lost the account login and all that, and Twitter changed hands, and of course I can't use that platform. I'm not Twitterisk, but I could be. Maybe one of you could be. All right. Cordyceps is a natural medicinal mushroom which is well liked by people nowadays, as they believe more in natural therapy than chemotherapy because of lesser side effects. Growth characteristics of Cordyceps militaris has been studied in depth to cultivate this mushroom for its mass scale production so one can collect enough biometabolites from its mycelium extract. There is a strong urge to use interdisciplinary biotechnological and chemical tools to isolate and enhance the bioactivity of metabolites from entomopathogenic fungus. I'm using an extracting rig. Alcohol. 100. It was 95% alcohol. It's toxic. Look, I have it in here. This goes in my ethanol rig. Evaporates, and I have. Sometimes I get a colored solution at the end of it, and I keep that aside, so I can send it to whatever, see what it is. But I don't know. I'm not a chemist. I just see. It took me 6 months to get all this stuff together, paying $25 a time, right? I don't have much extra cash outside of rent, outside of livelihood. Now I get $23 for food, so that's one less $23 extra I can spend on my stuff here. But it took me a while to get this stuff together. A long time. Up to January 1st. June last year to January 1st when I started collecting the different things to get this thing together. It wasn't cheap. But then again, it's worth it. It's worth it. March of last year, they canceled my food stamps and medical out of the blue, right? Out of the blue. And then somebody realized the mistake and reinstated my medical, put an override on everything, and made sure my medical was going through. So I spent a year, without 8 months without food, right? I lost 40 pounds, but I didn't starve. I mean, at least somewhere along the lines I got some food here and there. But that's not my point. My point was I finally got my food stamps back, and it went down to $23. All right, that's not the point either. The point is I'm trying to get this off the ground, guys. Everyone. Chemotherapy, right? So the structure of cordycepin suggests that it has 5 N and 3 O atoms, nitrogen, oxygen, which one can imagine can form transition metal complexes in the form of di, tri, and tetra. Dentate ligands. As metals can accommodate donor atoms' lone pair of electrons enter an empty d orbital. Complexity of resulting compound and its molecular mass can be predicted with the help of spectroscopic tools like IR. Well, I don't have any of this. I don't have any of this. That's why I would need 1/29th of the corporation, the Nevada corporation. 1/29th could be the guy that looks at this. I'm just the guy that's reading all this and telling you that it's possible. I'm saying, look, so 360 milliliters is a year's worth. I smoked that by now. I smoked at least 200 milliliters since January. I'm vaping all day. I have multiple devices ready to go. When one needs to be charged, I got another. One needs to be filled, I got another. One gets too hot, I got another. But that's my sickness. I'm just saying. Conclusions. Let me see what time it is. How much time do I have for you guys? Okay, I got 8 minutes. We're at page 31 of 62. Conclusions. The uses of natural herbal medicines over the synthetic ones have seen an upward trend in recent years. This is 2012 or thereabouts. We've been looking for natural herbal medicines over synthetic ones a lot more now. This is 2020s. Listen, the 1920s, 1820s spa, 1920s spa, get it? What stopped the spa going every time? War. But let's do this time a better bit. Let's have positive results instead of some shyster saying, come to my spa. You know, remember that? Remember that belt? Right? Come to my spa. I have the real deal. I have the real goo. I have a 6-blend mushroom. Cordyceps is just 1/6. There's going to be multiple more videos. Okay, so Cordyceps being an ancient medicinal mushroom used as a crude drug for the welfare of mankind. The welfare of mankind, that's what I wanted to get at earlier. I want to bring this to the welfare of mankind, my 6-mushroom blend. If you can make it by using my videos, make it. Get your neighbors to smoke it. Get out there, show people this is a real deal. If I can get 158 of you to finance my dream, let's do this. If you have relatives, if you have you want to get involved in this, and you subscribe for the spa, and you have a nephew who happens to be a bioengineer, send him my way. He could be he could continue to go to school and be a part of this corporation because he's using his professional self as progressing this to the next step. And the next step is to get it into the public's hands. That's the real deal. This corporation is only set up to go from raw material to sales product. And what I want the lounge for is to prove to everyone that this is working. That's all. This is working. We already know it's going to work. That's a shoo-in. If you're spending money on a what is that crazy thing, that pyramid scheme they call Bitcoin? Now you tell me, is this better? Is this better than buying a piece of art? Because I can sell you a piece of art. I am an artist after all. Being mentally deranged, one gets into doing artwork with therapy. So I can send you art. That's not an issue. But think about this. Excellent source of bioactive metabolites with more than 21 clinically approved benefits on human health, including anti-diabetic, anti-tumor, antioxidative, immunomodulatory, sexual potentiator, and anti-aging effects. Listen, by no means is there anyone who wouldn't benefit from smoking or vaping mushrooms. No one. Well, maybe those that were said that you should shy away from cordyceps. But that's besides the point. We're doing micro dosing. If I get a research specialist who written one of these papers that I look up, that I cherry picked for pulmonary, you can tell me, is microdosing going to affect those people who we said steer away? Right? So, I don't know. So it goes on. Cordyceps alone has been widely explored for its anti-cancer, antioxidant activities, thus holding a strong pharmacological and therapeutic potential to cure many dreadful diseases in future. Further investigating needs to be forced on the study mechanistic insight into the mysterious potential of this medicinal mushroom on human health and promoting its cultivation strategies, commercialization, and ethnopharmacological use of this wonderful herb. Okay, and I imagine that the rest is citations. So I'm pretty sure we're close to the end. Yes. All right. Thank you for stopping by. This is has been Cordyceps, Segment 2, Part 5. And to recap it, by no means am I selling you a bill of goods. This is real. This is real. So stay tuned for my next mushroom to profile. I have agaricon, I have turkey tail, I have cordyceps, which I just did. I have lion's mane, chaga, and tiger's milk. Not necessarily in that order, because I have 6 mushrooms. All right, thank you very much. Have a beautiful night. Good night.